Hello children. So today we'll study about Archimedes principle. So which is our last topic of the chapter, that is Archimedes principle. So before studying this Archimedes principle, we'll study who is Archimedes. Okay. So Archimedes is a very famous and great scientist. Okay. He was a Greek scientist, mathematician, physicist, engineer, inventor and astronomer. Okay, this Archimedes is like almost all rounder. He is very famous scientist. His mathematician also. Okay, in maths also we'll be having Archimedes principles based on problems also we'll have in mathematics. Similarly, we are studying about in physics also we are studying Archimedes principle. And he is engineer, inventor and astronomer. Okay. He was born in 287 BC ago in Seaport City. Okay, Seaport City is in Italy. So he was born in 287 BC ago. Okay, so he lived for about 75 years. He lived for a long life as compared to this situation of life. So he has lived for 75 years. And so by this when he became a great scientist, he started inventing every new things in his daily lives. So what are the things that he started learning or inventing about his daily life? We'll see. So after noticing that the water in a bathtub overflowed when he stepped into it, he ran through the streets shouting Eureka. So what happened? A bucket was there. Okay, a bathtub was there. So Archimedes, what he did? He stepped his leg inside the bathtub. So what happens? The water overflowed. Okay, the water overflowed when he stepped into. So what he done? So he ran throughout the streets shouting Eureka. So what is Eureka? Eureka means he got it. He got it, the answer or the solution. Okay. So he found that the water overflowed when he stepped into it. So now let us study. This was introduction part of Archimedes, a very small introduction. And now we'll study about Archimedes principle. Okay. So to study about Archimedes principle, let us see that Archimedes principle, when an object is partially or fully immersed, when an object is partially, little or fully immersed, okay, in liquid, the upward force acting on it, which is equal to volume or weight of the liquid, is displaced by it. This means that object will be there when it is partially, little or fully immersed, when it is fully immersed in liquid. Okay, so for example, water. When it is immersed in water, the upward force acts on which it is equal to volume. It will be equal to volume or weight of the liquid displaces by it. Say for example, let us take a container. Okay, container is filled with water. Container is filled with water. It does have some upward force, isn't it? The water has some upward force. So object is partially or fully immersed in water. So the upward force acts on it. This is the upward force acting on which equal of the volume or weight of the liquid displaced by it. Got it, children? So now let us see how does the Archimedes principle work. Okay. So taking two containers I have taken here. So one container consists of water and other container also consists of water. Okay. Say for example, this is the weighing machine. Okay. This is the weighing machine. Okay, so weighing machine is tied with some object of, say for example, 5 kg. Okay, it is 5 kg and so far it is still in air. The object and the weighing machine is still in air. Okay, and the water level is same as it is how we have taken it. So similarly, we'll take another container and water is filled. As compared to this, the both water level is equal. So when the weighing machine containing the object is immersed, so both the objects will be of 5 kg itself, but when it is immersed into the water, what happens? The upward force acts on it. The water level gets high, so upward force will be acting on it. So what happens? The weight will decrease. Say for example, it may come to 3 kg. Okay, the weight may decrease. So what happens here? You can see it is blank. Okay, it is blank. When we dip inside, the water level rises. The water level rises. So by this what we can say? So by this what we can say is upward thrust acting on object. Upward thrust acting on object is equals to weight of liquid displaced by object. Okay, so upward thrust it will be acting on object, which will be equal to weight of liquid displaced by object. So even water contains some weight, isn't it? So it will be liquid displaced by object. So it is nothing but buoyant force. So volume of weight of liquid displaces. Okay, so when dipped in water, it displaces liquid. Got it, children? So it means buoyant force will be there. Okay, where buoyant force will be acting. So buoyant force is equals to volume of liquid displaced. So buoyant force andre enandre, it is the volume of liquid displaced. Okay, so obviously, say for example, this is what Archimedes 2 explained also. So take a bucket of water and step your leg inside the bucket. Okay, you can feel the rise in water level. You can feel the rise in water level will be there. So this will be the Archimedes principle, and it shows that the upward thrust acting on body will be there. Okay, so buoyant force is nothing but which is equals to volume of liquid displaced. Got it? So we do have some applications for Archimedes principle. So let us go through with them, which are the applications of Archimedes principle. So some of the Archimedes principles are like this. The first one is, it is used in determining relative density of substance. Okay, it is used in determining the relative density of substance. We'll study what is density and what is relative density as well. Okay, the application of Archimedes principle is used in determining relative density of substance. So the second application is, hydrometers are used to measure density of liquids. Okay, hydrometers means this is the instrument used to measure the density of liquid. To measure the density of liquid. Got it, children? Hydrometer means measuring. It is an instrument to measure the density of liquid. So hydrometers are used to measure the density of liquids. So the third application of Archimedes principle is that lactometers are used to determine purity of milk. Okay, so to check the purity of milk, we use lactometers. So lactometer is the again measuring cylinder of the density, and which is used in determining the purity of milk. Got it? Then we have the last application, that is Archimedes principle is used for designing ships and submarines. So what happens? This principle is used in designing the ships. So now ships madbekare we have to be more careful to whether the ship is floating or it is sinking, isn't it? So to work on that, Archimedes principle is taken, and submarines also. So let us have some questions based on this. So this completes your chapter of gravitation. Okay, we have one last topic, that is relative density. This almost completes the chapter. So we have let us have some questions based on this. Why some objects float and some sink? The question may arise for us that why some objects may float and why some are getting sinked inside. So this is the reason. The reason is that when object is placed in water, okay, the two forces acts on it. What are the two forces that acts on it? So the reason is that when object is placed in water, there are two forces acting on it. The two factors are weight of object acting downwards. So weight of the object will be acting downwards, okay, or upthrust is acting. So upthrust is acting means nothing but upward direction. Okay, these are the two reasons to object to float or to sink. Okay, illa either the object should get sink or else the object should float. Okay, now let us see whether the object floats or sink. That depends on which the force is greater on two forces. So what happens, ಅದು ಫ್ಲೋಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಸಿಂಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ these two forces which I explained here. So say for example, when weight is more, okay, when weight is more and upthrust is less, so when weight is more and upthrust is less, the body sinks. Okay, so weight ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು upthrust ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ it sinks. Say for example, we have some little amount of water here and the weight of the body is very high. So what happens? Obviously the body gets settled down. Okay, the body obviously gets settled down. So then when object is less and upthrust is more, so then the body floats. Okay, say for example, weight is less and upthrust is more. Okay, then the body floats. Children, this is very easy and simple to understand. How does boat floats or sink? Okay, so weight ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು upthrust ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ obviously boat sink ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Or else when weight is less, okay, say for example, this is a container and we have fully filled with water and the object is very less in weight. Okay, object has some very less amount of weight. So what happens? Upthrust will be there and the body floats. So we can say that if upthrust is more, the object floats. Okay, upthrust ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the body floats. If the weight is more, then the object sinks. Simple and very easy. Upthrust is more, object floats. The weight is more, then object sinks. In case in some exception cases, what happens? If both are equal, then the object floats in the liquid, not on surface. Okay, surface ಮೇಲೆ float ಆಗಲ್ಲ, it does floats. Okay, when the object floats in the liquid ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, but not on the surface. Okay, this is the based on Archimedes principle. What happens? So now let us have one more question based on this. How does a boat float in water? Is our question I have taken here. How does a boat float in water? So it is that when boat is lowered into water, okay, when boat is lowered into water, so boat na ನಾವು lowering ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ in water, it displaces more. Okay, and more water is due to which upthrust increases. As we have already known, upthrust will be acting when boat is lowered on water, it displaces more and more water. Okay, It displaces more and more water, due to which upthrust increases. So upthrust ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, increase ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Say for example, this is the water level. Okay, this is the water level. We have lowered the boat here. ಅಂದರೆ ಬೋಟನ್ನು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Okay, it displaces more and more water. Okay, the boat displaces more and more water due to upthrust increase will be there. Upthrust ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ it displaces more and more water due to upthrust increases. So then the water stops sinking. The boat stops sinking. Due to upthrust, the boat never sink. Okay, into water when buoyant force acting is just enough to support the weight of the boat. Okay, so ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, upthrust act ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬೋಟು obviously it floats. Okay, this is the based upon Archimedes principle, boat floats on water. So the boat stops sinking in water when buoyant force acting is just enough to support the weight of the boat. So what happens in some cases, the boat, if this is the boat, if this gets some hole, the water gets in, isn't it? When the water gets in, obviously then the boat will sink. Because this will occupy the water level here itself, here as well. So then it has some chances, it will obviously sink. Got it, children? So now we'll study the very last and small topic, that is density. Okay, to study relative density we need to firstly study about density. So now we'll study what is density. Density is nothing but it is defined as mass per unit volume of body. So simple, isn't it? It is defined as mass per unit volume of body. Say for example, density is equals to mass by volume. Okay, where m by v we can take it as mass per unit volume. So density is nothing but mass by volume. So mass per unit volume of body we can say. So the density is equals to mass by volume. We have already learned, that is density is nothing but mass by volume. So what is the, we do have some SI units for density. So it is kg per meter cube. So we'll take it as density is equals to m by v, isn't it, children? So m is nothing but mass and v is nothing but volume. Okay, v is nothing but volume. So mass means the SI unit of mass is kg, isn't it? SI unit of mass is kg and the volume is meter cube. Okay, so density is equals to kg per meter cube. Is it clear, children? So this is what density means. Density is nothing but mass by volume and the unit is kg per meter cube. So we know that water density is equals to 1 gram per centimeter cube. This is the water density. Okay, children. So now let us study, based upon density we'll study relative density. So what is relative density? Relative density is nothing but to relate the density to anything. So that we call it as relative density. So relative density is nothing but it is the ratio of density of substance to density of water. Okay, it is the ratio of density of substance to the density of water. Okay, it is the ratio. So relative density has no units. It doesn't have any units. Got it, children? Relative density doesn't have any units. So relative density is equals to density of substance divided by density of water. So by this we can say that relative density is equals to density of substances by density of water. Children, this may be important for 1 marks. This may be asked for 1 marks. What is definition of relative density? So it may be asked for 1 marks. Okay. So relative density is equals to density of substances divided by density of water. So the relative density actually expresses the heaviness of substances. It actually expresses the heaviness of substances in comparison to that of water. Clear, children? So what happens in relative density? It expresses heaviness of substances in comparison to that of water. So this completes your chapter of gravitational. If any doubts, you can contact to me and will explain you. So in this applications of Archimedes principle is also important. Applications of Archimedes principle is also important. Maybe asked for 2 marks or 4 marks. Okay, it is important. Maybe asked for 2 or 4 marks. So I hope this is clear with the chapter of gravitation, and this completes your chapter. Thank you so much.